Hey folks, welcome back to Patriot Ridge Farm. So down here at the mine site today, this was the finishing pond or the polishing pond. They've got it all dredged out. They've pulled all that stuff out of the bottom here. They got a pump down there just pumping out any excess water that kind of lays in there. And now they've got a big layer of stone in there. It's not a big layer, but it's a layer of stone anyways. It's gravel. But they've dredged it out really good. And all of this stuff, and I'll show you that later, is clear up towards the top of the property here. So all been dredged. They're starting to fill in with rock now. I'm sure there's going to be a couple more layers of rock go in there. Probably some bigger stone as well. I think they did this just for compaction and everything into the base of it. So the interesting thing is I'm going to show you is the water diversion, and we'll get to that here in a minute. So anyways, first pond is dredged. Looks like they're starting on the second, the wetland up here. Yeah, so they're dredging this one out. And we finally got some rain. Thank goodness. But you can see the layers of sediment there and everything that they're going through. So as they dredge this, they're hauling it up, and they've got a couple areas dug out where they're putting it in and letting it drain out, letting the water drain off of it. And then when it's done and then when it's dried up, they'll scoop it out of there and use it as a cover for fill among one of the layers that they're going to backfill with. So this is the wetland here, and they're working towards getting it cleaned out now. Going to be a lot of pauses and starts here because I'm on the side-by-side, so bear with me. Oh, and that'll kind of give you an idea just how far down they've dredged this. They've really taken a lot out of there, and I'm sure they've had to over the years, that they've had to because of the years of sediment buildup. So that's a good 10 feet, if not a little bit more, probably 12. Set the brake. All right, so this is 14 days after they diverted the water, and if you remember what this channel looked like, the first day it was pristine. The second day it was starting to get some staining, and I was down here 4 days after they diverted it, and this is what it looked like. You can see how much iron is really in that water. So that is all settling of iron that's in that water. And it's crazy to think about how clean it was the first day. It just looked like natural spring water running out of there. Then the second day, you got a little bit of iron staining along the edges, the top edges. And honest to goodness, within about 4 or 5 days, this is what it turned into. Now, surprisingly, even with that, there is still less iron being dumped into the tributary now than there was when it was going through this. And that's because all of this treatment through here was so full of sediment over the years that as it came into the polishing pond and dumped out into the tributary, the iron content coming out of the polishing pond was higher than it was coming directly out of the mines itself. So that's something that when I come down here, like I said, it's like 4 or 5 days later just to see this. And that'll give you an idea. And how many decades has that been dropping into our waterways? And this is just one mine. this is one mine, and it's a relatively small mine compared to what some of the bigger mines and stuff around this area were at the time. So yeah, it's kind of crazy, isn't it? So they're not here. Well, they were here today, because I seen some tracks in the mud and everything like that. I don't know, whatever reason they left, but they're not here right now, so I haven't got to talk to them about treatment, if they're going to do any kind of treatment. And simply because that there's less iron now dumping into it than there was, they may not even do anything until the whole system's done. So we'll just have to wait and see. All right, we're going to move on to the next one. All right, so this is the meadow that's going to be the Barra site. You can see that they've already started pushing up some dirt and everything. The second pile of dirt back there, I don't know if you can see it from here. Every time I zoom in on this camera, if I zoom in a long ways away, the volume goes way down on it. So I'll take you guys out there, but I just want to kind of give you an overview of this. And the first pond, they've dammed it up. The other side's drained out. This side's still holding a little water, and I'll show you what's going on up there. Actually, I need to go down that way, don't I? All right, we'll keep you going. All right, so they dammed this up. There's a whole lot of water on this side, a lot more than what there was. Now, of course, we have had a little bit of rain finally. But I've noticed that up here where the pipes come out of the mines, there's two pipes there that they've got both of them diverted. There seems to be some water flowing around the outside of the second pipe over farthest to the left. And I'm sure that's probably something that they'll address in the future. But for this right here, I'm assuming they'll just pump this out because this side is empty. And that's the whole bottom of this first pond here, the settling pond. So now that it's been blocked off here and there's no water flowing into it, they'll come in and dredge this as well. So they did take out the drainage channel over there. They dug it down really deep, and that way it just got all the water running directly right down one channel there. As this drained out and everything. So they're working their way from clear down there at the finishing pond, polishing pond, and they'll come up and work their way all the way up until they finally get to here dredging out these wetlands and these ponds. All right. Over in the second field over there, if you see that dirt over there, they dug out another big hole over there where they're going to be dumping some of the dredging material. But I'll show you the one that they've already started filling. See how deep they dug that channel down through there. They just completely took out the drainage channel that was in there. Just enough rain to make this slicker and snot on a doorknob. All right, so this is where they've been dumping the dredging material. You can see as they set it in, or they dump it in here, the water goes out, comes down to this end, it goes to the lowest end, and it'll just eventually just wick its way through that dirt. So this stuff, as they fill this up and as it continues to drain and dry, like I said, they'll come in and use this at some layer, one of the many layers that they'll use in the fill process as they do everything else. So I'm not exactly sure why they dug this out like they did. I almost thought that this might become a place where they'll bring some of the material up and kind of dump it here, since they've got their silt fence down here, that they may start dumping some of that material here, letting the water flow down. It'll go through the silt fence and keep any sediment from going back into the water. But I don't know. I haven't, like I said, I haven't got to talk to him. I was hoping he was going to be here today, that I was going to be able to catch him and just kind of get an idea. That may not even be what it's for. That's just my method of deduction here. So as they work their way up, like I said, they're going to continue to put material in this until it's full. There's another one over here behind these trees, just as big, if not a little bigger and deeper than that one. So this, as it moves along, I guess we're going to find out. It's hard for me to get down here on days that I work. I took today off to get some stuff done, but it's hard for me to get down here. By the time I get off work, they're usually gone. So I'll catch them eventually and kind of get caught up on the mess. But yeah, the water in the diversion ditch, that was just amazing to me to see how it went from day 1 to day 5. And if you go back and watch the two videos on the water diversion number 1 and the water diversion number 2, and then look at it today, and from day 1 to day 5, you've got that much iron settling out and metal settling out in that diversion ditch. It's just crazy. All right, guys, I'm going to leave it at that. Try to get a couple more videos on here within the next week or so. I've just been really busy trying to get stuff done and taking advantage of it. Even though it's been so hot, it has been dry. So I've been trying to get a leg up on some things. It's not working out. I'm trying, I really am. Anyways, all right, that's going to be it for today. You guys take care, and God bless y'all.